Hey everybody, welcome and thanks for tuning into today's podcast. This is Shannon Price, the Mind Mechanic, helping you navigate your life every day. This podcast is free and is brought to you to help you navigate your life mentally, emotionally, and physically to bring an overall wellness that you may have been missing or you didn't even realize you were missing. So if you find these podcasts helpful and of value and interesting, I would love to hear from you. My goal in life is to change the way people see and treat themselves, to educate, empower, and evolve. Because you and I have one thing in common. We want to constantly improve our lives and be the best version of ourselves. And many people have lived their lives pretty much the same way for a very long time, stuck. However, you are capable of making the biggest transformation of your life. You are capable of becoming unstuck. Today, we're going to talk about procrastination. What? Wait a minute. I know, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? So how long has it been? How long have you waited for something you really wanted? Something that you had to make happen? How long? A couple of months? A year? 5 years? Maybe your entire adult life? Well, I'm sure you've had a good reason or two. Those self-assurances that you promised you're going to make it happen when you have more money, more time, you're less busy, whenever the time is right. But has the time ever really been right? Well, here's the answer to that question. Yes, the time is always right. So when will you ever be less busy? When will you have more time and more money? And above all, more confidence? All those reasons seem like your perfect way out, right? An excuse that maybe made sense at the time, but where has that time gone? Because time's not going to wait for you. And you're still using the same excuses because it's just like a muscle memory. I bet you just did it again. Then you ask yourself, why do I always do this? Why am I putting it off? And that can be anything from cleaning your closet to writing that book. It can be anything because you really want changes, but the longer you wait for something, the more daunting and overwhelming it becomes. And it seems like it's never going to happen. So you just keep putting it off. And it's easier not to start, and it's easier not to change a habit or a pattern. So then what happens? You have all those thoughts and ideas just rolling around lovingly and longingly in your head, but you just leave them there a little bit longer because you have to go to the grocery store, or you have to pick up the kids, or you have to go to your unappealing, unsatisfying job. And then you're going to wonder why your spouse and your family get on your last nerve every night when all they want is your attention. Well, they never knew that you had other plans for yourself. They never knew, and they still don't know, that maybe you wish you'd gone to Spain. Maybe you wish you'd taken that workout class or that art class, or tried out for the lead singer in that band, or maybe just finished law school. Well, why? Why don't they know any of that? Because you never told them. You never once shared with them at least one thing that makes you happy, that made your heart race, something that you just kept putting off and putting off because they might think it's silly. But guess what? You're not the only dreamer out there. If people weren't dreamers, we would not have technology, movies, music, restaurants, and a million other things that they dreamt of and they accomplished because they wanted it no matter what. They never balked at the dream. They didn't care who did. They did whatever it took to make that happen in their lives. The worst part is that if they had not discovered their hidden passions, or maybe they would have never achieved them if they kept putting them in the background. They just kept putting them off. And maybe they never said them out loud to themselves even, or anyone. Can you imagine going to your grave and not even achieving one thing that you set out to do? The things that fired you up? So now that leads to your next conquest. Maybe you and you alone is going to do something. You're going to do something you always wanted to try. Stop putting it off. Maybe it's playing an instrument, taking swimming lessons, taking a class to learn a new language. Maybe it's helping other people. Or just maybe it's something that's so exciting to you that you just want to burst every time you think about it. And you're the only one that knows about it because you never told anyone, and it's still just sitting up there in your head. How in the world do you even begin to make these things happen? Well, you start researching. You research right now how to do the thing that you want to do. You start to empower yourself with real knowledge. You don't hesitate to speak to the people who already do what you wish you did, because one of these days, that time's going to pass. And it may be the worst and saddest thing you've ever felt, because time is very unforgiving for those who keep hesitating, for those who procrastinate. Procrastination is a large part what reflects in struggles with our own self-control. Did you know that perfectionists are often procrastinators? It is psychologically more acceptable to never tackle that task than to face the possibility of messing it up, or maybe never even completing it. So many procrastinators say that they perform better under pressure, but research shows that's just not the case. More often than not, it's a way of justifying to ourselves to put things off. Well, I'll get to it. Yeah, I know I got to do it. I'll get to it. Our environment actually encourages procrastination. It supplies an array of distractions through electronics, technology, and anything else that pulls our attention away from the chosen orbit. So for procrastinators, the words, I don't feel like it right now, or I'll get to it, I know I got to do it, I'll get to it, that always takes precedence over those goals. But then it just might form a downward spiral of negative emotions that might deter any future effort. So at some level, procrastinators are aware of that truth, and they know their actions. But approximately 20% of all people are chronic procrastinators. It cuts through all domains of life, but some people procrastinate in maybe specific situations, and that's it. And maybe those thrill seekers, the people that need stimulation, arousal, that kind of stuff, maybe they wait until that last minute in order to reap that euphoric rush. Or maybe they're an avoider, someone who puts off a task because of fear of failure, or maybe even fear of succeeding. Yes, that's a real thing. In either case, they're really concerned about what other people think of them. And there's another type of procrastinator, a delusional procrastinator. That's the person who struggles to make decisions for themselves. Not making a decision actually absolves them from the responsibility and the outcome of the events. So even in small doses, procrastination can make you feel guilty. It can make you feel kind of depressed, dissatisfied, all of that. And not only is that thing not getting done, but the procrastinator is also having painful and troubling feelings even as He enjoys the video games or the TV game shows or the reality shows instead of actually getting up and doing the task that would probably maybe take an hour or less, the length of a show. Procrastinators are aware of what they're doing, but it rarely makes it easier for them to stop. So really, how does procrastination affect your mental health? Since that's what I'm here to talk about. Previous research has linked chronic procrastination to a huge range of stress-related health problems, such as headaches, migraines, digestive disorders, colds, flus, insomnia. And overall, procrastinators really suffer more stress and health problems than those who get things done. So, as you might expect, procrastinators are likely to put off important health behaviors like going to the doctor, going to the dentist, getting regular exercise, whether that be walking, weightlifting, whatever. So maybe you're fact-checking. Maybe you need to look that up. Or maybe you're just checking Facebook. One more time before you get started with your work, your research. Oh, wait, then it's your email. Oh my God, I just got another notification on my phone. And then it's some other obscure thing that you think you're supposed to do. It's pressing to you, but actually, is it really? Probably not. And maybe you're just not doing anything at all. Essentially, putting stuff off, even in spite of expecting to be worse off as a result. That's a procrastination, right? But we all procrastinate at some time or another. And frequently, it's situational. It can be limited to certain circumstances or something that a person may only do on occasion. But ignoring the problem of chronic procrastination and what's causing it can really have a significant impact from affecting jobs, affecting school performance, straining relationships, and diminishing the quality of life for each person. Procrastination can be a serious problem when it affects all aspects of a person's life. Then you tend to be your own worst enemy, right? So it's really important to drill down to be able to understand why you might be putting things off. And taking the most basic steps may help reduce that procrastination once you work that out. Now, I can help you with that. I have helped many people stop procrastinating. And it's really quite easy to change the mindset, to talk to your subconscious, to get them to change that pattern of behavior. I would love it if you would drop me an email at controlfitness@aol.com. That is Controlfitness, all one word, CONTROLFITNESS @aol.com. You can also find me at my website, which is www.sp, my initials, Shannon Price, SP, themindmechanic.com. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and seriously, drop me a message, drop me a text. You can send me your email address, and I'll put you on my newsletter list, which might be really good for you to get newsletters as I send them out, really informational newsletters. And I'd love to hear from you. So if this has been helpful for you, if you're a procrastinator, if you know someone that is a procrastinator, have them listen to this podcast and have them get some insight, because insight is what's going to help you realize, oh man, I really need to stop doing this. I'm going to get help. So when you need to get help, you know to find me. Once again, you can contact me at my email, controlfitness@aol.com, and my website. It's www.spthemindmechanic.com. Find me on Facebook and find me on Instagram. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.